Many thanks for staying with us. It's still the conversation, and on this segment we're talking about breaking drug addiction chain through the family, and we have an expert. He's an internationally certified addiction professional. He's also a trainer and project manager, Global Initiative on Substance Abuse. That's Dr. Adetolu Isaac Olatunde. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's good to have me.
Let's start from the root problem now. Why is there a large number of youth taking drugs as at today? Why now?
Well, thank you very much, ma'am, for that question. Well, it's not with the statistics that we have being recorded by United Nations Office of Drug and Crime. Yes, I agree that the rate
numbers have increased.
On the increase,
yes.
Especially in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, yes.
And so many factors are responsible. We have what we call the macro factors. That is the economy of the country, the inflation is a problem. Then we have the micro factors, that's the family, the peers, the school system that we have nowadays, the faith-based institutions, as the mosque and the churches, the workplaces. All these ones are influencing, because it is influence. These children, they are still developing, and they are prone. They are more vulnerable to influence and motivation from all these factors, combining with their own personal traits, which is inside of them, will make them to have a decision in going for these substances in order to solve their problems, or just to enjoy the euphoria that they receive from those substances. And apart from that, also the availability of the substances. In those days, people want to take this thing, move into uncompleted buildings, and they are being ashamed, they hide. But now it has become a thing of show, that people just do it openly. All the sachet of the illicit drugs and drinks are being sold everywhere, very affordable, 50 naira, they can get it. And so they do it. And also, other parents are not caring for whoever they feel is a personal problem. And so they don't want to put mouth. So even if they see any child doing the thing, they turn their faces to somewhere else and move.
You know, taking it from what you have just laid down now, as I was reading about this topic of discussion today, I came in contact with a write-up that said that most people see addiction as a problem of choice, bad choices, while others see it as a chronic brain disease. So from a professional standpoint, now I'd like you to break this down. Is addiction really a case of making bad choices, or is there really something that has to do with affecting, like it's a brain disease, that's why people misbehave?
Thank you very much. You see, the drugs, we have what we call drugs. That is the commonest thing that we all know. And these drugs are chemicals that are either man-made or they are natural. And they are meant for treatment, diagnosis, and co. But the abuse now comes in when you go for it without being prescribed, one, or you use a particular drug for what it's not meant for, or three, using mixture of so many drugs is there. Now, the drugs are of two types depending on their solubility. There are some, let's take analgesic, that's the pain relievers now, just one. There are some of them that are soluble in water, and they eventually form large molecules which cannot enter the brain, because God put there what we call the blood-brain barrier that does not allow every secondary substances to enter into the brain. And so those analgesics that are soluble in water and that form large molecules do not have access to the brain. They remain in the cells and in the muscle to do their function. But there are some other analgesics again. We won't mention names here, but all of them have similar names. there are some that are soluble in fat, and you know we all have fat in our body, and as soon as they dissolve in fat in our body, they form fine molecules, and they are able to navigate their way into the brain, and they exert their pressure on the brain and the spinal cord, which we call the central nervous system. And immediately what happens is that they affect the mood of that person, they affect the feelings, they affect the reasoning, they affect the behavior, because the brain has different segments which is responsible for whatever we are doing, whether we want to walk, whether we want to see, whether we want to hear, whether we want to reason. The compartments is inside the brain. And so when these substances which we now term as psychoactive substance, it's no longer drug we were calling initially again, they now have access to the brain and they distort the brain functioning, and once the brain aspect is being distorted, it shows on our system, and that is why the issue of drug addiction is a brain problem.
Okay.
And it relapses because of the euphoria feeling that you get initially. It remains there, and when you take a particular grammage for initiation, for a start, it gives you that feeling. Tomorrow you want to go for it, you have to go for additional grammage. Then gradually the person is slipping into addiction, and that addiction, the essence of the meaning of addiction is that somebody craving and using a substance despite the evil consequences that he knows he has been facing or which he can face. He doesn't want to care about the consequences. What he wants to enjoy is to get the material that he needed. So that's why it is a brain, it's a brain problem, and it's a relapsing problem.
Okay, I'm glad that you've talked about how people or the youth gradually get addicted,
yes,
with these drugs. So what are the early signs that one can now look out for as a family member to now see that this person is is on something? So what are the early signs one can see?
Okay, the early signs,
look out for.
Yes. Number one, before you can even get those signs, it depends on your relationship with those children. So as a family, they are supposed to have been some bonding, strengthening the family, together. And you already have the way you communicate, you already have the environment and so on. And once those things that you have established before start to change, then you yourself, you start to know that something is happening. Because for example, a child that start to dodge you, start to stay in the room alone, locking up himself or herself, because it's not only for male. We only believe that it's male, though it's
not male.
It's not only male. So they stay in the rooms and they show some reaction. They become irritable easily, more than before, that they are very lovely. They start to behave irrationally somehow, and they lock up themselves. When you ask them to come out, they come out quickly and move back into those rooms. They are hiding one thing or the other.
They sleep a lot too.
And they sleep a lot. And you know the way they get these substances now, because of the logistic program that we now have, they come to deliver those things without you knowing. They may not go out. And you say, my child has not been going out. They remain there, but they receive. And the packaging is so fantastic now that you may not even know that these are psychoactive substances that are inside. It's being well packaged. It may be handshake, it may be wristwatch, it may be biro, pen, and they just do like this as if they want to clean their nose. They already enjoy the sensation. And so you just have to be closer with these children, especially the Gen Z that we have, in order to see what they are doing. So
once a family member notices those indicators that you have mentioned,
yes,
what should be the next step now?
Yes, the next thing, once you identify it early, because the essence of prevention is for them not to start at all. And if they have started, if you notice that they have started early, then you ensure that they discontinue. Because the end is not always palatable. It robs them of their future. No matter, because it affects the cerebral aspect of the brain, which is for thinking, which is for reasoning, which is for judgment. And if a person cannot judge well again, it's already going. And so the first thing you do is that throw away shame. Because that is the major problem. People say, what will people say? This has never happened to people before. We believe. Then they now package the child, lock him up somewhere. No, what you do is to invite a professional. There are so many homes around, rehab homes and co. It's not everybody that is going to Yaba left. That's the neuropsychiatric hospital that is a madman. No, but because people have stigmatized that place, nobody wants to go there. Whereas they still handle minor cases where they may even just send him to a counselor who will now look at him, smile at the boy, start to find out some questions.
Or girl. Okay.
What is the problem? How far about your admission? How far with your courses in the university? How has your mommy or your daddy be treating you? Did they give you enough this? So they will find out what is really responsible. Whether it is an influence by the peers and co. Because some of them, because their brain is not yet matured, they become so vulnerable to influence of peers, influence of uncles and co, which are the extended family now. Even their own parents who having a bar in the sitting room, haven't gone and the bottle is half, but for the child not to make the thing to go low, you will first of all take the drink and put water.
This will lead me to my next question of asking, because again, charity, they say, begins at home.
Exactly.
And thank God that the topic is about breaking drug addiction through the family.
Yes.
And now, so let's look at the patterns that go on in families that make the children vulnerable to drug addiction.
Okay, thank you very much. Family is the first institution that a child attends or is coming from or resides. So it's the best school, it's the best everything, and the socialization process starts with the family. That is where they first of all learn how to talk, how to respect, how to do little jobs, how to do everything, which is very important for family, especially the nuclear family, to start with the children. And now, having done that, the things that is expected is that in a home, in a family, love and limits, very, very important. Love and limits, you can see those two words, which means show love, but there's a limit to showing those love. You don't just because you love your baby of 3, 4, 5, you hand over an Android phone, or you are giving him pumping money into his hand. It will become the financier of those things. They will see him as a big boy or a big girl. So love and limit is there. Setting rules. There must be rules in the house. Nowadays, parents move out. Yes, it's good, but if there are rules on the ground, then they abide by it. My boy knows that he cannot sag his trouser in my house, anywhere. He knows because there are rules which has been laid down, and you have to lay it down together. Then after that, you establish the consequences. That if anybody does this, what will be the punishment or the discipline? So that should be there. Then value system of your own family is different from value system of another family. So what is your own value system? establish it, let everybody in the house know about the value system.
Before
that in this house you don't tell lies.
Yeah, exactly.
And after establishing it, you yourself, who is the leader of the house,
you abide
by it.
You don't lie.
You don't lie.
And you don't ask your child to lie for you.
Exactly. You don't tell that woman not at home. Because the children we have now are smarter than when we were growing up, that we were responding to body languages of our parents. But if you want to depend on body language alone now, the situation will be failing. Then consciously you must protect the children from the use of substances by creating a beautiful environment that will not make them to be vulnerable. Don't just throw them out, and where people are sending them out, and you don't know even those that are sending them out are already introducing them. So very important. Then keep eagle eye. We are not saying the children should not be free, but keep eagle eye. No wonder the Bible says be sober and be vigilant. And you know how to do those two things, to be sober at the same time to be vigilant. Allow them to be free a bit, but put eagle eye. There are so many vulnerable points that you can never know. The school driver taking them to school can be a motivator. The malam that is by the gate selling can be a serious agent, introducing them to it. And so all these are what will help you to keep them safe and to help them in case you have identified that something is a bit happening.
Okay, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about parents who live with denial, secrecy, and of course who blame others except themselves, you know, when addiction is confirmed. How do you, or how do experts now address such parents?
Thank you very much. Yeah, such parents, many people don't have enough information and knowledge about substances and its addiction. And so in such a situation, nowadays, we are trying to come up with so many seminars in churches, in schools and co, so that people will know that this is how this issue can happen. This is how I can identify it. This is how I can respond to it. That is not you know, a death sentence of an issue. That there is still hope. That is just a matter of the child may be falling, but he will still rise up again. So lighting up the hearts of parents as well as even the children and even people around. And that's what we have been doing, you know, nowadays, to make sure we go to schools, go to churches and do advocacy and sensitization to let people have knowledge. If you are not informed, the people will be deformed. So it's because people have initially stigmatized it, that taking drug, so they see it as a monster, but it's not. It's just because either you like it or not, the drugs have some positive effects also. That is the danger of the whole thing. When they are taking it, it gives them euphoria. It energizes them. It makes them to be excited. It makes them to do things extraordinarily. And so we can call that one positive effects. And that is what keep on now luring them until they enter into a point of addiction. And so in such a situation, education, information is very, very important for our parents. That they should not see it as a death sentence, that is just a social, you know, misdemeanor, which they can still come out of it.
Sorry, Joy. You mentioned something about analgesic.
Yes.
You know, one would think an analgesic cannot cause any harm, whether you're overdosing with it. But I'd like you to explain, because I used to know a woman, a mother, who takes alabuku. like anytime she finishes eating, she will just take it. Anytime she finishes it, I was there, I asked her, are you in pain or something? She said no, it completes her food. It's true. A woman, a mother. And I said, this is addiction. She didn't understand what I was saying. So when does, how do you I think you to explain to us the role of analgesic.
Exactly. Thank you very much. You know, I mentioned analgesic initially.
Yeah.
And I said I didn't want to mention
names. Because I have to mention that particular one.
I don't want to mention the names of those brands. The one you have just mentioned, Alabukun, is a psychoactive substance because of the ingredients.
Okay.
It is fat soluble. It enters the brain. It gives her good feelings more than ordinary Panadol or paracetamol, which is just soluble in water and it stays inside the cells to do to relieve pains. But the Alabukun does more functions than just relieving pains. It gives them some euphoria, some feelings, some motivation. It makes her to sweat well and for everything to calm down. So she knows what if she doesn't know what she's doing, but she's getting more good feelings from the Alabukun more than if she takes the other analgesics. And there are so many other like that, which we will not be mentioning their names here. But the Alabukun, you can see those people that are taking alcohol again.
They mix it.
After taking so many bottles, they say they want to calm it down. They take the Alabukun baggers and they take it. It's a psychoactive substance. It goes to their brain when it dissolves because of the ingredients it contains. It is. And you know, some of these things we have already rated it as a social material. For example, alcohol, taking beer, we don't see it again as anything of danger. Whereas it's a depressant and it's a psychoactive substance. The Alabukun we are talking about, they take it, the gene that they take inside those sachets, they are all psychoactive substances. And it leads them to addiction. It leads them to addiction. And you know, addiction is when you don't feel balance again until you go for that thing. Then you are, it's already, that is addiction. And it's not only the psychoactive substances that people get addicted to. You can get addicted to gambling. You can get addicted to food even. You can get addicted to sex and so on. So when you are craving for a particular thing without minding the cost, without minding the legal situation, without minding the physical, the functioning that is already giving you, that until you take it before you come normal, you are already addicted. And it takes grace of God and professionalism to get such a person out of it, which we call recovery.
Okay, I'd like us to look at, because while you were talking, you mentioned some people might just need to see a counselor who will talk to them. And also let's look at the effect of, since we're talking about family now and drug addiction, the effect of unresolved family conflicts, the effect of trauma, child neglect, and how the linkage between these things that I have mentioned, and if there are others that you can add to it, and then a child getting into addiction.
Thank you very much. A home that is in crisis will surely put the people there into crisis. And that's why I like the topic you pick. You say it's a chain. It's a chain. Because once one is affected, indirectly it hooks all the members of the family. Even the extended will have to share out of the trouble. The grandma will come and see the mother, the daughter cry. What is the problem? This boy. So it's a chain. And it's being caused by disunity in the family, conflict that cannot be resolved because there has not been good love being practiced within the family. Because if there is good love, there's no way there will not be conflict. But through communication, through empathy and compassionate situation, you can say, this is why I did this, this is this and that, and it will be resolved. But once it is not resolved, especially between the parent or between sibling or between sibling parents, it will affect every other one inside the family. And so what we should learn is to make sure in our own nuclear family we practice a team living, where we all see ourselves with love, we all see ourselves as one, we all see ourselves as sharing and carrying the burden of one another. And so we will not allow that, because once you allow the conflict to be unresolved, and especially between the parents, it will surely affect what you are dropping for the children. It will affect the I and thou relationship, where you have influence on one another. But once that one is happening, even if you want to correct your son or your daughter, the mother may not support. You say, don't mind him. That one is already, there's trouble already in such a home. And there's research has shown that there's relationship, there's nexus between family that is in disunity and the children going into substances. Even the parents also can go, but because in our prevention we don't seriously bother about adults that are going to it, because they know when they are deciding to go into that. So that's why we shift emphasis on the teenagers and early youth that are still coming up, and they still have their own future. But a man who thinks because the wife has been nagging, decide to go and be staying in the beer parlor. He knows what he's doing. He knows the consequences. He knows the amount that is going out of his pocket. So let there be love, let there be peace, let there be joy in our homes, and the children will sit right, and they'll be able to face their education. And once they pass some ages, then they'll be facing their career, and they will be able to shun, and that's why in our sensitization we say we want to teach them how to say no to taking drugs. But there are so many things that they must have imbibed before that no can come out of their mouth.
Okay, having confirmed addiction in a child or in one's word, I don't want to say child all the time, how can a parent now look out for where best to take the child for treatment? Having known, or you said it earlier, that many Nigerians have stigmatized Yaba left, so that in order not to also affect the parents to me taking my child to this place, how can one again as a parent identify places, hospitals where a child can get rehabilitated?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, let me talk about Lagos State. In most of our hospitals.
Sorry, sir. What should they even consider? Before taking the child to a place for rehabilitation?
Now it depends on the extent of the addiction. If a child is still at the level of a continuation and he has not entered substance use disorder level, you yourself can still talk and pray and counsel, and he will confess to you how you came about it, how it started, and he can even promise you, Mommy, starting from today, nothing like that again. I can assure you. So that's still at a very reasonable level, where the child is still the way that it can be retrieved. But once you see that it's already becoming a bit dangerous to himself and to other members of the family, then carefully and consciously, because you can also resist, tell him that, look, let's visit the hospital, that you'll be treated and you'll be fine. Because it's not that 24 hours they are off. It's only when they take that they started being under the operation of the psychoactive substances.
Okay.
When they have not taken it, they greet you, they behave normal.
Okay.
So at that time, when it's still normal, you discuss that, look, I don't like the way you are. Look at your hands, look at how you are fidgeting, look at this and so. So you bring him to self-realization for that. And even also to take him out, you must have seen some sign, because it's the family that can see him more than outsider.
True.
The outsider will only notice when they see some misbehavior that is against the norm.
Yeah.
But in the home, the family must have seen some signs which are minute, and they know it's not normal, it's strange with this child especially. This is a child who has been this, who has been that, but suddenly now he has withdrawn, is this, is very, very irritable, any little talk now, it flares up and so on. And so, by the time you see that, you quickly seek for help. And the help is not from people who don't know about it again, who don't know what to do.
No,
otherwise, lest they could compound the whole issue.
Yeah.
So go for professionals. In all our hospitals, we have the psychiatric sections.
Okay.
So we have our psychiatric doctors.
Okay.
And so once it is being identified early, it's still treatable.
Okay.
There are some other little drugs they can give them to flush out and neutralize the psychoactive substances they have been taking in their blood.
Okay.
Because we have what we call the half-life. The half-life is the rate or the time taken for the substances they have taken to be ejected from their systems through urination, through defecation. But some are still will now continue to remain, and they add more. So that one is the one that can be detoxified or that can be removed by giving them additional tabs. So when you take them to any hospitals in your local government, if they cannot handle it any longer, if it's risen to a terrible level, then they advise the person to go to the neuropsychiatric hospital at Yaba.
Okay, but at a stage where parents are still suspicious,
yes,
that they haven't, seen all those indicators, do we have health centers where you can take the child to and do a test to confirm it?
Oh, yes.
Like a blood test.
Oh, yes.
If the child is still lying that, no, I didn't, no, drag the child to that place.
Take him to any general hospital, take him to LASU there. They do tests and they will show him easily. It will show the level of the substances he has taken.
Okay.
Even apart from the rate, they will even tell him what he's using.
Wow.
If it is cannabis that he's smoking secretly and he will now put tom-tom in his mouth, it will show that the cannabinoid is inside your blood.
Okay, I like that.
So,
I like that.
It will show. That's why you can see nowadays there's some of the private universities they are starting to introduce the test before they come in. Though people are still fighting them about human rights and co. But I think some of the universities have started.
They should do.
They have started. And by and large, let them begin to introduce it even into other public institutions.
Okay. So what is
okay. So it's still like a follow-up to the last question that she asked about how a family can or a parent can know when a child is under substance abuse. But now for someone who now they have found out that the child is taking something.
Yes.
Now, how can the family member support someone who is struggling with addiction? I use the word struggling because it is a struggle. What are some of the harmful reactions that other family members would, what's the right word to use now? Identify with, that can also hamper the healing process of that person struggling with addiction?
Okay, thank you very much. You see, in the process of treatment and recovery now, the physical support, economic support, all types of support of the family is very, very essential. But once the family is divided, some people are building camps with the person, and they are saying, "Don't mind them, don't mind them. You are just saying." Then they will be compounding the issue. or they still find a way, because even during recovery, which is a very another delicate section, because we have 3 sections: the preventive section that you just make sure that it doesn't start, or the treatment section where they have to detoxify his system, or the recovery. That recovery is another dangerous period that requires the cooperation, full cooperation of the entire family. And once any of them is not cooperating, you will discover that somebody is still craving for, and somebody may still give in little, because his intention is that let me just take little, that I won't go into the big thing again. That little again is another initiation. It's another initiation. And so they must not stigmatize him at that period. And they must not judge. No judgment. You see, it's you.
Bringing shame to the family.
It's you that you have brought. We don't have much we are spending on you in the school, for you to come out and be okay in future. Look at you now. No, that's not the time. That's not the period. The period of recovery is not the period of giving judgment or condemning the person, but instead, what you need is to encourage. Just like somebody who fall into the well, and you have thrown rope to him to come out, you have to be guiding. Oh, just put your leg like this. Oh, make sure you hold the rope tight. Don't look down. You'll be okay. Just be coming like that until you're able to bring him out. Otherwise, if anything happens in the process and it goes back, the fall will be more and higher than the initial one, and those ones may enter into a point of no return. And so I pray for our parents that are over there, that their children are into it. Don't worry, don't be afraid. Just with love, get to them, assure them that they still have their future, that they have only fallen for a little time, and that they will surely rise again, and they will smile. Their mind is still very feeble. So once you speak good things into their mind, they will be ready to follow you. They will even just put their head on your shoulder and cry, and in the process you gain back your lost sheep.
Give back your lost sheep. Drug addiction affects not only the user but the entire family. And the journey to healing, involves everybody, not just the user.
Everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tolu Isaac Olatunde, International Certified Addiction Professional, Trainer and Project Manager, Global Initiative on Substance Abuse. And he has been talking about breaking drug addiction chain through the family, which is a very, very important discussion. Parents, do not just leave your children. You should watch like a hawk.
Vigilant.
Be vigilant. Be the vigilante. Show up in their schools when they're not even expecting you. Just, enter their rooms. They come up with all sorts. You can't enter my room before without no enter their rooms, go through their bags, see what they are doing at all times. Don't just leave them. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you
nice
very
to
much,
have you. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues.